It is a lovely Monday morning to you, our esteemed viewers, and welcome to today's now streaming morning live program, reaching you from the ACNNTV studio. And good morning. I am Smart Simon, your uncle for today. And joining me in the studio is my co-uncle, Sonto Chukwu Okezu. Also with us in the studio to discuss an interesting topic is Dr. Damilola Fasilat Yakubu. She is a medical doctor. Our guest in the house, you're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
And my co-uncle, good morning.
Good morning.
Happy to see you.
Happy to see you too, sir.
Yeah. Viewers, I want to encourage you all to call in using the number showing on your screen, or you can send us your comment via any of our social media platforms showing on your screen. Also, share the link with your friends and families. If you are just joining us, this is still the now streaming morning live show, reaching you from the ACNN TV studio to discuss the topic of mental health awareness and coping with stress is Dr. Damilola Fasilat Yakubu. She's a medical doctor. So you're welcome once again.
Thank you,
and
sir.
I'm interested because I do a lot of stressful work. So I'm so much interested on this. So quickly, let's start with you educating us more on what mental health and stress is all about.
Okay, so mental health, it refers to our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. So these are the aspects of your life that would affect how you feel, how you act, and how you are interacting with people. So it tends to influence your relationship with others. So it's like your state of mind. That's your mental health. And then stress is usually a way that your body reacts to anything that it perceives as a threat or as danger. So there are certain situations you might find yourself, let's say for example work or school. So you are under a lot of pressure, you are overwhelmed, and your body is not reacting the way it normally would. Let's say you are someone who, you have a routine, you wake up at this time, you tend to have 6 to 8 hours of sleep, and then all of a sudden something has changed. You are now sleeping for 4 hours, you don't get to eat on time, so it affects you. And then your energy level starts to drop, so you cannot act as well as you would normally. So that's how stress and mental health, they get intertwined. And then if this stress is not managed properly, it begins to continue for a long time, then it becomes chronic, then now even affects your mental health even more. So that's why some people just tell you they were just a sudden change that just persisted. So that's the interaction with stress and mental health.
Okay, that's really nice. Thank you so much on that. So I would
It appears that stress is a good thing from this explanation.
I think
if stress is going to come because of certain
to help us function properly.
Well, stress can be a motivation sometimes,
Okay.
mostly when it's managed properly. But it becomes a problem when it's chronic and you are not handling it the way you should handle it. There are healthy ways to handle stress.
Okay.
So it's when people are not able to identify those healthy ways, that's when stress now becomes a threat to your well-being.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what are some common signs and symptoms of mental health issues, and how can individuals recognize them in themselves or in others?
Okay, so the first thing I want to say is that for you to be able to identify something in yourself or in another person, you have to be self-aware for yourself, and then you have to be able to know that, oh, this is how someone will react normally. So when there's a change in that pattern, then you can begin to think that, oh, maybe something is wrong. Like I said earlier, you sleep for 7 to 8 hours and suddenly you are sleeping for 3 to 4. You have a good appetite, you are able to eat 3 times or 2 times in a day, but suddenly your appetite drops. You are someone that you are very motivated, you are quick to do work, but all of a sudden your zeal or your motivation is dropping. and then you're generally seen as a happy person. I mean, you can't be happy all the time, but at least your mood is stable.
Yeah.
But you are experiencing this like prolonged state of sadness. There's no motivation. Even when it comes to your work, you can't concentrate. There's some people, you might be talking to them and they've zoomed out.
Yeah.
So when you see those patterns in yourself or you identify it in someone else, it gives you like an inkling that, okay, something is going on here. Like there's a change already. So that's why it's very important that you know yourself, you know what works for you or what works for another person. So when you see a change, it gives you an idea that, okay, this is something we need to check. We need to see what's going on.
Okay, so is that why in some cases maybe your colleague, you try to talk to them probably at work and they just snap out on you and like, okay, just leave. Someone will now tell you, okay, please just leave them.
Exactly.
I think they are stressed.
Yeah, so there's also like that withdrawal.
Okay.
Some people are, they have like a good social life, they relate with people, but suddenly you invite them to come to lunch, you're like, oh no, I'd rather be alone. Don't have any other engagement, but they just feel the need to like withdraw. So their relationship with their family, with their friends. So those are signs that we should always take note of. So it gives you an inkling. Yes, there are sometimes where people need like maybe personal space to think, but if it's happening for a long time, it should give you like a sign that no, we need to check what's going on here.
Okay, thank you so much. And want to encourage the viewers to please call the studio, and then we have a medical doctor here who will be able to answer you questions on your mental health and stress, because we know Nigeria has at this time people are stressed out. So how does stress impact mental health, and what are some effective coping mechanisms for managing stress?
Okay, so from my definition earlier, mental health has to be with like your emotional and mental stability. So
not necessarily that you're having some kind of you've gone colo mental.
No. no, that's not the case. It's just
because Nigerians don't want to hear mental health.
Yeah.
It's like the person is not stable.
Go and see psychiatric doctor. That kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a very like bad narrative, and I think that's why a lot of people shy away from talking about things like that. So when you are undergoing stress, it's going to impact your mental health in the sense that there's a change in who you are normally. So you are someone who works, people are depending on you, you are a boss, but suddenly you can't meet your targets. You can't delegate, you can't like talk to people, any little thing you are angry. So it affects your productivity. That's one of the major impacts of stress on mental health, when it begins to impact on your productivity. And then once that happens, every other thing starts to even go wrong. That it's like it's triggering every other aspect of your life. So when you find yourself in that kind of situation, there are some healthy ways that you can do. So for example, you can try to do some breathing exercise, like just take a deep breath in and breathe out, and try not to overwhelm yourself. So that's why it's very important that you are self-aware. You know who you are normally, so when something changes, you are able to even identify it within yourself before someone else does it. So you try to do things that will make your work easier, like have a to-do list, or maybe you realize, well, I'm not eating the way I normally would, so you try to see if you can incorporate healthy diet, because food is also very important for our mental health, what you consume. If your level of water consumption has dropped, try to stay hydrated so you don't get like tired. And then you can try like journaling. Some people like to like journal. Some people will tell you when they are working, they'll play certain sounds just to help them calm down, relax. So those are like very simple ways, yes, that you can do for yourself at first when you are experiencing these difficulties. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so are there roles self-care plays in maintaining good mental health? I think you just mentioned some. Yeah. And what are some simple self-care practices that can be incorporated into our daily lives? You've also made mention of a few of them. So I just want to quickly ask, as you were talking about these emotions and all, something popped up. I was like, mood swing. Does it also have to do with stress?
Yes,
because there are some people that Jesus Christ. Right now they are laughing, and the next time you come, you are happy. Her mood don't change. Like it's like this. So what can you just throw just a little light on that?
Okay, so the thing about stress is sometimes when people are undergoing stress, they try to mask it. So they try to hide it. And stress can also be like emotional. It can be physical, right? So if you're having like emotional stress, for example, like something is like you're thinking, let's say you have like someone in your life is sick, like maybe they are going through cancer. So you are trying to like fight that emotion not to worry. So 1 minute they might be happy talking, maybe they're interacting with you, and then you step aside for like a few seconds, they are alone. And when you are alone, they say an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So all of your emotions can just come running. Moment, if you're someone who doesn't have a lot of emotional stability, those things will quickly like weigh you down. So that's why people are like, but she was just laughing, I just left and then I came back. Yeah, so that's how it affects some people. Some people are better at handling their emotions than others, so we tend to like identify our strengths and then do things to support ourselves. So we just try to
because I've met strange people. Jesus Christ.
All right, so now there is issue of stigma that is associated with mental health. I was beginning to talk about it. The moment you talk about mental health, see a doctor for your mental health. So people thought that maybe you're mad, you've gone insane, and all that. So what are some of the things that we can do to make sure that the stigma that is associated with mental health is demystified? People should know that these are normal health concerns, normal issues. The fact that you've gone to see your psychiatry doctor doesn't mean that you are mad. And
in the process of
we have to stop the idea of since when somebody say he went to see his psychiatry doctor, and then you now begin to say so your take on this, what do you do?
So I think the first thing about trying to break that stigma is, awareness, like letting people actually understand what we mean by mental health. So it's like we've already attached like madness. So when you hear mental, like Nigerians we say, it don't decolo. So it's not the same. Like your mental health is not about you acting out of place. It can just be like you are undergoing some lifestyle changes, or you are going through things in life that are making you like find it difficult to adapt, so it can affect your mental health. People develop like anxiety when they have to take up a new role. For example, you were leading a small team of 5, now you have like 20 people that you have to control. You have like a very big budget that has been handed over to you. Like there's a lot of expectations, so people start to experience anxiety, they are anxious. So those are things that affect people. Those are parts of like mental health. Like you lost a parent, you lost your spouse, people become sad, they become depressed. So you can't now say someone who's experiencing that is mad. So I think people need to really understand what mental health is all about. So maybe then they have like a good idea that, doesn't mean that you will start walking on the street, you tear your clothes and all of that. No.
So it means that a lot of awareness needs to be
needs to be done
to let us know that what you always think about mental health is not actually what it is. It is something else. All right, now so a quick one, that is the issue of anxiety and depression. So some people, from that anxiety to depression, and sometimes they commit suicide in the process because they could not talk to anybody. So when and how should an individual seek professional help in the situation where there is anxiety and perhaps depression?
Okay, so like I said, I talked about like some healthy things that you can do. So if you've been trying to do that and you see that you've not been able to make any significant progress, like your mood swings are getting worse, like your energy level is dropping, you can't concentrate at work, you are getting queries, you are getting sanctions, and then you're having suicidal thoughts that is not just coming as a tiny voice, like it's getting louder. So that this is not something that you can handle by yourself. So it's time for you to seek professional help. And I also want people to realize that it's not, you might not at first go and see a psychiatrist, because people are afraid that psychiatrists are the ones that take care of mad people. You can go to the hospital and request to see like maybe a general doctor, so they will assess you and then they might now say, okay, we want to now refer you. They'll be able to guide you. Some people will undergo like counseling, you go through therapy, they add you to like support groups where you meet like similar people who are experiencing what you're experiencing. So being able to do that is something that would help. But it can be difficult for an individual to help themselves seek help. So that's where family, friends, they come into place. So we should always try to be attentive to see what the people around us are going through, and we can try new ways, not shouting or forcing them, but just try to, make it easy for them. Maybe you can offer to pay for a session. You can offer to drive them to the hospital. Those are things that we can help people with in order to decrease the rate of suicide we are experiencing these days.
All right, I'm not a medical doctor, but from my own profession, we will advise that when there is anxiety, when there is depressed, talk to somebody. Don't keep quiet. Talk to somebody who will help you. So the options are: you talk to your pastor, you talk to your doctor, you talk to someone elderly who can guide you. And sometimes you notice what you thought is a big problem, the moment you talk to someone that is more experienced, will just tell you one or two things and it melts all your problems down. You are leaving that place better than you have come. So if you don't talk to somebody, and then that anxiety to depression, and from there you see people standing on the Third Mainland Bridge and then they jump into lagoon, So talk to somebody when you have a challenge. I believe that every problem, there is a solution to it. Yes, sir.
Yeah. How can technology such as social media, our smartphones help impact our mental health?
Okay, so
perhaps before you answer, I hope even that smartphones are not even adding to our depression, because when you see what is displayed, you see young people who you senior who are having so much wealth and they are displaying the influence and everything, and then you have gone to university, you are finished, you are still struggling to get work, and even the work has been given to you, it's not up to a minimum wage, you can't afford anything and all that. It's like social media is adding to the
it's adding to the stress.
So please go ahead.
So like you said, like social media has its good side, its bad side. People get unnecessarily triggered by what they see on social media. So they fail to realize that before you see all that glam and happiness, there are some behind the scenes that must have taken place. Somebody must have struggled. Don't just be fixated or, before 30, I bought a house, I bought a car and all of that. And because we cannot really control what people post on social media, it's not left for us to be very careful as to how we consume this content. Don't spend your entire day on social media. Some people will tell you, I do social media detoxing. So maybe I will only spend like 1 hour, 2 hours on social media. I mind the people I follow. I follow things that are going to be like impactful to me, maybe like mentors, pages that will give you like information regarding your career, regarding health, because we also use social media as an avenue to advocate for mental health. Since we have a lot of people on social media, we try to also use that as a tool to tell them that, okay, we want to educate you more on something. So we cannot say we want to eliminate technology out of it entirely. So it's just about controlling how much time you spend, limit your screen time, do more offline activities as opposed to just going on social media 24/7. So
also a whole lot of people do not prioritize sleeps and exercises. You would see someone, I don't know how people living in Lagos do it. Sometimes they come back by 11 and as early as 4, 5 in order to beat up traffic, they're already out again to the office. So, do you think individuals should prioritize sleep and exercise as essential components for maintaining a good mental health?
Yeah, it actually is. I understand that it can be very difficult, but we need to like try. So, for example, you have a 9 to 5, your office is far, you have to wake up early. You would need to like find ways to make up for those lost sleep. So some people will tell you, I don't work on weekends, so I have time to sleep in. I mean, it's not the best, but at least you are still giving your body some time to rest. And when we talk about exercise, I always tell patients, don't think it's until you go to the gym and start carrying dumbbells and all those big things. No, it can just be having a 10 to 15 minute walk.
Okay.
It can just be, fast jogging. Just doing something that becomes a routine is also a form of exercise. So from there you can now work your way up into doing more, endurance training and strength. People just open social media, they see somebody carrying one big weight, they're like, no, it's not for me. Here, somebody's doing like this. No. That's not all what exercise is about. So you just having your own routine. Okay, every day I will walk for 10 to 15 minutes. I will ensure I sleep for at least 6 to 7 hours. Maybe you can't do 6, maybe you do 5, but you are consistent, you are maintaining it, and then you now add up eating healthy as well. So everything all together would actually help you in maintaining a very healthy lifestyle.
Okay.
All right, so this is where we are about to draw the curtain. So please give us your last word.
Okay, so my last word will be that I will encourage people to prioritize their health. Like mental health is something that it's very, very important. Like for you to be able to function very well, you need to be in a stable mindset. And we've realized over time that even your mental health affects your physical health. So I'll give an example. When we are in the hospital, a patient wants to undergo surgery, we have to make sure that we make them feel like, okay, this thing you are going to go through, it might be scary, but we want you to know that we are doing everything within our power to ensure that it comes out successful. So that's your way of trying to bring the patient down. I mean, they might not be totally worry-free, but at least you are trying to calm them down because they need that stability, that calmness, in order for them not to be overly stressed, because there's an hormone your body secretes, it's called cortisol. If you have a high level of that, it will even impact your physical health. So that's how important mental health is. Like a healthy mind is a healthy body. So I would say sleep, eat healthy, and do your exercise. And please, mental health doesn't mean colo. It's not colo mental, please. Let's eradicate that.
All right. Let's take yours.
My last word, I would control C from doctor's word and then control V, copy and paste. Exactly what she said. I am
That's
saying.
what you're saying.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Damilola Fasilat Yakubu.
Yes, sir.
We have to thank you so much for taking out your time to
You're
come.
very welcome. Thank you both for
And
having me. This
to
was
my
very
uncle, thank you so much. It's
you.
nice being with you
Thank
on
you.
the studio. And so, as we draw the curtain, mind who you follow on the social media. And please don't take what you see on the media hook, line, and sinker. And this is where we draw the curtain until we come your way again, same time, same station. I am Smart Simon, and bye.